Hi everyone. Today I'm going to speak about what is operationalization and why we operationalize application and also platform in IT world. So let's get started. Um, First thing first, what is operationalization? The general definition is really high level. Operationalization means turning abstract concept into measurable observation. Um, we can have, as human, as I described in the slide, through some concept like A, H, are easily measurable. Other like spirituality, anxiety are not. Through operationalization, you can systematically collect data on process and phenomena that are indirect observable. Like age, every year I'm changing age. I just passed 41 this year. Last year was 40. So every time we gather some data, we can measure the age of people. So in IT world, it will be the same because it's a metric. The age is a metric. Also, our application has a metric and platform have. So in IT world, how we apply it to IT world? In IT world, we split operationalization into 5 measurable concepts, which are access and security, industrialization, CI/CD automation, instrumentation, monitoring, and alerting. It's only when those 5 concepts are fully in place that we can have a real observable platform. Why those five measurable concepts? Because each of those concepts we can extract some measurement that will give us metrics from where we can have monitoring and alerting based on that. So from access and security, we will have some restriction or permission given to some user. And when the user will use the system of the platform, we also collect through the instrumentation the activity based on those accesses. So it will end up inside monitoring, from where we also we will generate some alerting. Through the industrialization, it's kind of important because in the DevOps methodology, we tend to automate everything, but automate means also collect and give more visualization about what we are going to do. So we also can monitor and base alert on those industrialization points. So the reason why we operationalize is it's to be more predictive. We need to develop a sense where we are becoming also almost a half god, and we tend then to be able to predict the future, what's going with our platform or product, because if we tend to see some issue in production with an application or the platform, we are able to look at it and predict maybe we gonna have an outage in 1 hour, 30 minutes, or 2 hours. We also operationalize. It's to reduce the time to investigate in order to reduce the time to put back the platform, the system, or the component up again. Because they're nothing more scary than having an issue in production in a system where we doesn't know what's going on. So it's why we tend to have instrumentation put in place, from where we can also look at the logs, look at the metric that the dashboard show, and then if we don't have alert based on a new kind of problematic, we are able to investigate about what's going on. Why also? It's to reduce the noise, reduce the stress, reduce the downtime. It's happened probably most of you when you have an issue in production. We tend to have a kind of a war room where we sit together, a bunch of people, and a bunch of people give opinion about what could be the issue. Um, we want to avoid that when we have an issue in production. We want to avoid a situation where we have 20 people sit in the room yelling at each other and also try to figure what's going on. But we want to know what's going on almost exactly and put back the system up again as soon as possible. So it's why we have to operationalize, and how we operationalize a platform is to have logs, have instrumentation, precise monitor, and also alerts. So it's it is what it is. It's also we operationalize because we want to let the SRE team to be fully autonomous. If they have an issue at 2 a.m. in the morning, they don't want to call you because it can be a simple fix to make. So they have to fix it the same way the development team or the project team do it normally. So it's why we need to have industrialization process where everything they do, they pass through the exact same process as the dev team does normally when they push changes and fix in dev and prod and QA and in production. So industrialization is the key piece here, because everyone pass through the exact same process. If they need approver, so everyone pass through the same process. So finally, the fifth point is to be able to precisely respond to the reformulate form of the 5 Ws, which is what happened, when it happened, why it happened, where it happened, and who can act. So what's happened? What's the what is the problem? Does the system is down? Why? So we need to. It gives us the ability to respond to those five questions precisely, and the more important at the end, it's who can act, who can fix it. So it's why we operationalize. How we operationalize. Documentation is not the key. Operationalization, living documentation. It's a living documentation. It's a tool that everyone will make evolve over the time. It will be the only way to properly operationalize the platform system component. Why? Because everyone, the system will evolve over the time. So to let the SRE team and other teams to act when issue happen, we need to put in place in that living documentation the 5 visible concept, define it, which information we're gonna have, which is in access security, industrialization, instrumentation, monitoring, and alerting. And the additional piece we tend to put in place in that living documentation is the architecture, definition and argument, and not argument, sorry, architecture information, responsibility between each maybe component or part of the component. For example, if I have an application that is deployed on an infrastructure, we need to precisely define who is responsible, which team is responsible for the architecture, and which team is responsible of the dependency piece that the application work with. So it's why we need to identify the responsibility between the product. Also, a support section where we list who is on call, which team is on call, what phone number we need to reach a certain people, what is the governance process, and a list of incident history. We tend to also keep it up to date to know over the time what is the incident we got, what is the resolution we made to resolve the issue, and have some more metrics about the past incident. And when incident comes back again, we also we have a kind of a knowledge base of incidents. So it's why it's how we operationalize. Um, what's about? So I will show you a little quick demo. What's what it looks like, what it can looks like having such living piece documentation. So let's go on it. So I have my personal project, which is called budgetplanner.cloud. It's a SaaS platform where people can manage their own company. So you can figure that this software is used in on the web. Now I'm on the dev environment. So what we got here, I will give you a little bit more information about how I shape my operationalization documentation for that product. So we see that it's up. So I'm going on ops, and how I did it. I set up a simple, a really dummy website. Zoom in, okay. Website. I call it ops.budgetplanner.cloud. What I found here on the first page, it's kind of the last major change I made. Yes, I'm running that product on Kubernetes, and during the other day, I moved to a cluster, or Kubernetes cluster based on ARM, 64 nodes. So nothing fancy here. But what I have on the top, it's I have my architecture, access and security, industrialization, instrumentation, monitoring, alerting, support. So if I have a new page, my team will know where to look at to start fixing my shit. Sorry for the big word. So what I have on the architecture side, I have what for that product. I have only two environments, which is dev and production. The root DNS for dev, it's dev blah blah blah. Single zone deployed by that it's deployed by that repo where by that repository on GitHub. Okay, I have a SQL server, databases, and then I have a lot of applications. So I have all those applications here, which is the API, the backend API, report server, registration services, landing page, authentication site. Everything is running smoothly with those information. I tend to not include. In fact, we don't have to include sensitive information on those pages. It's operationalization, not secret store. It's stored somewhere else. So it's simply information to help looking at what's going on, finding the information, the right information. So I have a scheduler job and external dependency for my architecture part. Access security for the moment, I have nothing defined. Industrialization, if by example I have an issue with the budget planner API, with the API, I know where to look. I know to look at the Git repository is there, the CI pipeline is there. So it's all a link that are linked to my CD pipeline. So I can look at it and see that my CD is there. Okay. Same for the scheduler job and the secret, the build agent. I know everything about how my stuff is going. The interesting piece now, the start become more interested by the instrumentation monitoring alerting, because Instrumentation I will look at it. So I know that all my application are instrumented. Yes, budget planner API. I'm logging. I have logging activated. But budget planner and the report services. I don't report the log of the container in my EPM management system, which is New Relic. And on New Relic, what I have EPM instrumentation in place. So this is only the information about what is the instrumentation inside my application. So yes, I have logs inside my application, but I also have business event that occurs in my software. So those business event, I report it as an insight inside my inside New Relic. It could be, for me, it's New Relic because I'm using New Relic, but it could be Datadog, it could be Dynatrace, it could be Splunk, it could be Azure Monitoring, App Insight, anything that is related to monitoring. And also, I'm also use some stuff inside New Relic that I use to get some information about my systems. Yeah. And then comes the monitoring part. So the monitoring part, I document all the monitor I use to monitor my platform. I have several, which is more system monitor that monitor each single application, and also more custom one that is used to monitor the business activity of the business domain of my application, which is budget planner. So I can look at it by example by the budget planner API. I will go on the prod one. So I see here, sorry for the, okay, cool. Okay, I see over here that my production budget planner API have quite a this is the monitoring, the dashboard monitor I have for my backend API on production. Nothing fancy here, but here again, I don't have alerts in place at that stage. But I can put alerts from there. I decide to not make it there yet. So what I have in IPM services, I have the logs. See, in the last 12 hours, I don't have any errors. I have one error, which is an health check with the Azure B2C, but it came back LT because the health check inside my application came out. But it's not really, how I can say, problematic right now. If I look back inside my application, my monitoring part of it. So for this was a dashboard for my backend API, but I have also custom monitor that I decide to create, like an example, really stupid example, the SSL certificate expiration. So I put in place a synthetic monitor in New Relic that will check each day, that will give me alerts when the SSL certificate will expire. So I can look at it and see the trend. So today it's failed because I intentionally deactivated on dev, but if I look on prod, I have no issue at all. In the last 12, I put it in place today. So, but I have it in place. I want to avoid issue where when my certificate is expired and nothing works. So it's why I put it in place. and then the workload that contains everything under my application. So this was more about application, my budget planner application, operationalization stuff. Then I have the alerts. So what's going on with the alerts? So I define the service level for my platform, my application platform, which is L1, L2, L3, L4. What's the SLA on each of those? And then the global alerts I have for my application. So if, by example, I deploy an application that is not working, or it stopped working after a while on production or even on dev, global alerts will be raised, and then I will be noticed to act on it. So in that operationalization deving documentation, I put in place what I have done regarding the alerts, because at the end of the day, it's what is the most important. It's having alerts. You can have all the monitor in the world that is unimaginable, but if you don't have alerts that give you the information about your systems when errors happen, or warning, or error that will happen over the time, because you need to be predictive. It's why on the platform I put in place warning and error. So I set warning threshold that give me the alerts about warn. You could have an error, a problem soon. So I raise warnings that give me info that alerts that information, and then I can look at it and see what will happen. It's more or less that. So maybe I will do a quick demo about. I will make it crash on dev, on my dev cluster. I will make it crash. So I will go on my Kubernetes cluster. So I'm in my dev Kubernetes cluster. Okay, have my landing page, my landing site here, which is on the AKS pool VMS01. So I will simply stop that cluster here. So if I go back, I will go on my subscription, Azure. I should have a tons of alerts. Go there, dev. Intentionally, I will, because my Kubernetes cluster is here. Let me just, okay, my Kubernetes cluster is here. I have one single node pool, so it's no stress. I have two nodes inside my pool, but from here I'm not able to simply stop one. So I have to access the VMscape set to stop it. So I cannot do anything. I can't do anything there. So I'm going on the resource group. I'm doing what I'm doing right now is simply nuts. We don't have to do that normally, but I will take the VM1. I will stop it. Intentionally, I'm stopping one node. So what will happen? So what will happen? Oops, sorry. What will happen is everything there will be stopped. And on my alert thing, I expect, if I go back on my alerts, I should have a link here. I don't have, but because I instrument stuff, I did not include links. Um, so application alert, global alert, which is the BPL. Okay. Okay. For my platform, for all all application that is on my Kubernetes cluster, I have Kubernetes default alert policy that I put in place. So every time a container is running out of space, depends on the threshold, it raise alert. If the replica set doesn't have the zero amount of pods, it raise alerts. If the pod is not ready, raise alert. So what will happen? It's one of those will be raised. So it's updating. I want to stop it. So I will go New Relic. And if I look at the KISS platform, going on the monitoring, so I'm gonna look at the K9S cluster on dev, and automatically I'm linked to the cluster right now. Okay, let's go on alerts, condition. K9S, Kubernetes, default alert per IC. Okay, it's stopped now. It stopped. It's been start on the node 0. Okay, we'll do something different. I will simply delete the budget, the backend API. No, we'll remove the report server. So let's go there. I will remove the report server. Okay. So sorry for the confusion. It took a while before the UI been updated on that, but we can see that. Okay, in the pod, everything seems fine, but it's not fine. Why? We stop the node number, the node index 1. We stop it. So everything that is defined on the node 1 is not working. And even here, my console show that it's terminating forever. Why? Because the Kubernetes API is up. It's trying to delete a pod, a container instance on a node that is stopped. So it will be there forever. But we should have two two instance of the, by example, the budget planner web, we should have two. So the one is not responding. The 0000 forever is running. So when we look at, you see, it's all recreating automatically on the node 0. Okay, cool. It's just a little bit longer than I expect. So because the node 1 is down, everything is rescheduled to be recreated on the node 0. But everything is stuck to be removed from node 1 because it's down. If we look at the console, we should see it. If I serve, where is my dev? We don't see the second host. The other thing I want to do is to make it crash in order to have alerts. So I'm gonna, because I have dependency, it's the cool things with it's the cool thing with New Relics. It shows us the dependency between each piece of software. So if I look at the budget planner web, I can look at the dependency, the service map. It shows me all the dependency of the system. So budget planner web is using the wizard, is using the API, is using the report server. So I'm gonna simply intentionally, I'm gonna destroy one component in order to make the budget planner web crash. It's intentionally because the budget planner, in fact, budget planner web will not be crash. It will be degraded. That one. I'm removing the RPT and the wizard. So the L check gonna fail. You see the difference between the two. It's in real time. I can look at the load of my nodes inside my cluster. So I see that on production I have 72% of memory usage instead of 65. But I have two nodes active, but on dev I have only one. I think there, it's not what I want to see. God, it's slow. I should start seeing errors or degraded stuff. So yeah, L check report server is the is not accessible. Dev is degraded. Dev web budget planner web is degraded. And what's about? Do I receive an email? No. What if? I can set the logs that since 30 minutes, I can see that I have issue with the health check with the report server. The system is not down, but it become unhealthy. So I can put also alerts on that. When I look at my application dashboard, I see that the budget planner API is not start. I am start having a warning error. So this is custom. I put it intentionally custom. API is unhealthy and web is unhealthy too because both communicate with the report server. If I go a step further, I can go on my budget planner cloud, dev budget planner cloud. I'm gonna look at the status because I have a status page on my landing page of my application. Sorry if it's slow. So we see that the reporting services, the status is down, is critical, is down. But the landing page is not down. So we also operationalize to get our application to be able to make such thing on our system. And now a little bit more worry about let's do a dumb thing. Let's crash the API. Maybe not. No. Let's crash the web. No, I will crash the API. So now we have an issue. We will have degraded, really non-healthy systems. So the health check for that application is at every readiness fail with 500 internal errors. So it's totally degraded. It will become unhealthy pretty soon, I hope. Now it's already unhealthy. So you see that now because instrument my system is instrumented because I construct dashboard and I have alerts. I can know that my system is going through rough path. Nothing's worked. The API I don't have any value. It should be red because it reports nothing. But my web page is my web internal web piece of software is not working, the wizard also communicate with the REST, the backend API is not responding again. What is missing? The KPI for the landing page, I did not put it there yet, but it's missing. So let's do, and now we see that in the console, the K9S console, we see that our application is running, but is not ready. If I look at the detail of my application, does my pod is ready? No. Why? Because the health check of the readiness health check doesn't respond an LT code. So it's why it's not working. So when those kind of things occurs, it's why it's important to know what to do. So we have an operationalization page where we can know that the industrialization is in place. So because right now we know what's going on. We don't have the report server is missing and the REST API, the backend API is missing. So we're gonna also restart it. We're gonna have to restart it. So how we do that? We need to probably we need to redeploy the application. We have also, we can see that we have an issue that the node 1 is down. So the first thing first, I'm going to Azure. I'm going to restart back my node. Then on my infrastructure side, I will start seeing my back a second node here. Take a while. So we see that it came back. It came back. There's no purple line. Most of it now. So it's dialigned. But I still have an issue with my application because it's not responding at all. It's not. It even works. It's not available. Even the landing, because I don't have the backend API, nothing responds. So it's quite clear that there's something going on. So if I go on the landing EPM monitor, I'll open it there. No. So no. Okay. If I go on the monitoring section, I want the EPM for the landing. Well, what I see since 30 minutes, I see that I show it a little bit here, that the X-core will crash, and I can see that it's the prod, sorry. I don't include a link for dev. So I see when it happened, when it started happening. So I see an increase in error logs on my application, so I can see that inside the errors, what's going on. So it's all the error 503. can look at the logs. It's all related to the API that is missing. So let's go back on the initialization. The deployment for that is over here. I will take the last one. I will simply roleplay it. And I will wait. Oops, I need an approval. You see? I cannot delete even myself. I need to approve it. So we'll wait. We'll wait until it's back. You can get out of there. So as you can see, the Operationalization page, linking documentation is quite useful. It's really useful because it gives you the ability to quickly go where you need to be when such thing happen, instead of looking at everything. Okay, it started. It took a while. It took maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And even because it's currently I redeployed the whole application Helm chart, which is the package for my solution on Kubernetes. It will not. It will simply redeploy the missing pieces. It will not redeploy. I can see. It will put back the application on the state, on the application chain it should be. And on the nodes, what I don't like. So the repartition here is not really great. And because my cluster also has the New Relic agent, every metric are sent to New Relic. So it's pretty well instrument. Yeah. Okay, now it's the backpack. Wait. Took a while. So we have to wait until the API and the report server is going back up again. The backpack is going to be deployed. In fact, I don't like the term deploy, it will be reapplied, but nothing has changed since the last deployment. So oh, it started. Okay, good. It's finished. And now we'll deploy the Helm chart. We see that, yeah, it's not working. And we have our rates over here at 84% of the time. If we look at the alerting section, we don't have, my mistake, I forgot to also put alerts on the landings application, but if we look at the other product, you see that the dev is red. The wizard is at 60 and so on. So I should receive alerts. If I look in the error box, I don't have it. I should receive for wizard alerts because I know that I define application alerts when for dev budget planner wizard I have more than a certain number of percentage of errors for the last 5 minutes. Then I have alerts, but it's not activate on dev. It's only activate on prod. So I can go inside the alerts. You see that here. I should receive an email for that. It's been, and then the platform the Neuralink platform, because my code, my application is instrumented, it creates automatically an incident on Neuralink for dev.budget planner wizard. And I have 9 incidents for pun missing for more than 5 minutes. For at least 5 minutes. So I see here I have nothing ready. Nothing is ready. So then I have alerts. Let me open up my email. Okay, I have too many screens. So I just received a pun missing for pun missing greater than 0. And also have errors greater than 0 for 5 minutes. So I receive it. Then I can look at the deployment now. Let me check the deployment. Now it's been redeployed back again. So if we go back on Kubernetes, if I go back on Kubernetes, I see that the budget API, the backend API is back again. The report is back again. So everything is back again. Nothing is in errors right now. So when I go back on my website, dev.budgetplanner.cloud. Everything should respond back. I can look at the Kubernetes cluster. Everything is back again. At least web and landing are red, but it seems to be weird because everything over here is okay. Everything else over here is ready. There might be a delay. Whoops. Sorry, wrong screen. Okay. If I look back at my issue, I will acknowledge it. Automatically, because all application is back online, my tool, my incident that has been opened automatically will be resolved. So now I just received an email for that. It's been acknowledged. We'll have to wait maybe 5 minutes. Okay. So let's go back on the oops. Sorry for the confusion. It's not really easy to follow on that. So go back on the wizard. The wizard was problematic because we had error at 50 to 80% of the time, and now at 0. So we have to wait a little bit more in order to New Relic to close the incident that has been automatically created, because everything is back alive. Now we see in that graph in the AppDex score, we see that we are back to 1 instead of 0.3. And the budget planner.cloud is back again. The status of my page is also green again. So let's close it. Let's close it too. Deployment is completed. If I refresh the page, the cluster page, why? It's really weird that it gives me those red stuff, because it's not the case. It's not. It's really okay now. Anyway, another story. Let's close it. If I go on my logs here, what I have nothing now. I have no more errors log that has been put in the relic. Why? Because everything is back since 5 minutes. I can look at the landing too. Dev landing, same things. So the error rates simply dropped. Budget Planner web error rates drop, the warnings drop, everything's dropped. And the API, the one that is interesting is, well, the API has been put back alive, but during the time that backend APIs was not present on the cluster, we had no AppDex score. Now we have it back. And look at the alerts. We'll see from where. From budget planner, the policy for the early condition budget planner dev, one open issue from the SSL check. We forgot that. And the Kubernetes default alert policy been raised also from that from one of those rules. And okay, that seems to be closed. No more issue active. So none is active. So let's start it. Refresh it. Yeah. Yeah. So I can acknowledge it and close it. Same things for, because everything is fine now. If I look at the my dev dashboard, I can see that everything is up again also. So that's what's conclude the kind of demo why we operationalize and how we can act more easier when we have a proper operationalization documentation around a platform and around our application. There's quite a difference between a platform and an application because with platform we tend to have the instrumentation in place for the systems, like the percentage of CPU usage we have available on the platform, the memory RAM used, the space disk used, the network, the connectivity, and so on. Instead, on contrary, on the application side, we also inherit from those instrumentation because we need it to be able to have an up and running application, but we need to also inside an application to monitor, to instrument the business functionality of our system. So from there, we can also put in place monitoring regarding the usage and of our application in the business case scenario. So it helped to discover some issue when outage and problematic happen on prod. So thank you. I will share a few reference used by that demo later on. So if you have any question, don't hesitate to contact me. And also have a wonderful new year. So thank you. Bye-bye.